Hello everyone, welcome back to my progress reports. This is progress report number 2 of my Capstone project for the Indiana Tech College of Engineering. Here's what I'll be going over in this presentation. There's the project summary and solutions, obstacles, system prototyping testing, fabrication so far, budget so far, timeline and tasks, and the conclusions. The project summary and solution. This project that I'm working on is a 4-effect analog multi-effects pedal for electric guitars. Over the past 9 weeks, I've been working on this, came up with the idea, and up to where I am now. The current prototype is almost done. It's at 75%. The subsystems that are complete are the power circuit, the audio input, output, fuzz circuit, chorus circuit, phaser, and vibrato circuits. But there was supposed to be another one. But what about the delay and reverb effect? Had an obstacle with that. Right now, I was pretty tight on the constraints for the board space, so I was having a little bit of a density issue. With the size constraints of the PCB, I was only able to fit half the components of the delay and reverb effect onto the board, and I spent a little while trying to figure out how to get them all on there, but just wasn't happening unless I could probably do it with a 3-layer board, but I'm only really working with a 2-layer right now. Because of that, I decided to remove the delay and reverb effect. On the next revision I do, I'm going to try to do a workaround where I can include that effect for this stomp box that I'm working on. And this is the power system. It's all done. It's pretty basic. It's just a wire, with a switch on it. And here's the wire diagram for that. Here's the system for the audio input output. There's going to be more foot switches for that, but instead of it just going from the input to the output, it'll be going from the output of the first inline stomp switch into the input of the next inline stomp switch, and then so on up until the output for just the pedal itself. Here's the fuzz circuit. You guys heard that my last progress report. And here is the chorus effect. This one I kind of had a little bit of trouble with. I didn't realize that Panasonic NM, I think it's a 3007 BBD, was a negative voltage input instead of it just being a normal positive input. So I accidentally fried one of those ones, but the next one that I had, it started working and it sounded like this. Okay, here's a sound test. So the audio for that is a little bit hard to hear going off my headphones, but you can kind of notice how it does go a little bit higher of an octave when it's playing. And here is the circuit diagram for the phaser and vibrato. I did have this made, but I had to, I didn't have any more boards, so I was trying to keep them together. I had them all in a bag, but I kind of dropped the bag somewhere. I'm trying to find it right now. But it works. The next on the next video that we do, it'll probably be the final video where you guys will hear it then. But it sounds pretty cool. And this is the fabrication so far. This is the PCB that I'm working with. It's a 174 millimeter by a 94 millimeter. That will just fit inside of the enclosure that I have for it. It contains all of the subsystems besides the delay reverb that I was talking about, how I couldn't really fit all of it onto one board. Um, and for this I used a software called Fritzing. It's pretty good. You can actually come up with the Gerber files yourself by building it on here, so you don't have to have a very expensive program, something like Allegro or the Cadence software that most people are familiar with. It works pretty well too. And for the potentiometer knobs, I forgot to buy the knobs for them, so I just decided to 3D print them. I found it's a nice STL file of a vintage style knob, and it's from Thingiverse. It's a fair use file sharing website. Um, I did go with, or I was testing two different ones, but it was really tall compared to this one, so I just decided to go this one because with the low profile, it'll be pretty not flush with the stomp box, but it'll be pretty close to where if you're kicking a bit too much, you're not gonna kick off you're not gonna break the knob or kick it off. And here is the enclosure design concept that I have so far. Uh, when my daughter heard the phaser and vibrato effect, she thought that it sounded pretty spacey. So that gave me an idea to get some temporary tattoos. And with temporary tattoos, you can actually put them on epoxy and it'll stick to it. And so after you have it on there, you epoxy over that, and it adds a pretty cool layered effect to it. I was trying to go for like a spacey galaxy look for the background. Right now, I have to get that part epoxied, then I'll put those temporary tattoos on there. Might add a little bit more, uh, maybe some dust for an effect, but then I'll put more epoxy over those temporary tattoos, and then I'll have my enclosure. I'll get the holes drilled, and then it should all be pretty much good to go after that. And the budget so far, all the parts and components that I'm using for the project, besides the PCBs, I'll be 3D printing. The rest of the hardware I already have, so I'm not really worried about it. I was able to get a quote from a manufacturer. I'm going to get it made by the school, but I have a quote from the manufacturer for $36.46. And I think that it was actually 3 boards for $36. And since I'm eliminating the delay reverb effect, the cost per unit dropped by $14.21. So the final cost is $90.24 per unit. And the timetables and tasks, I'm not as far as I'd like to be with my circuit testing. There's still some things that I need to work out with the phaser and vibrato. Because of that, I'm going to be extending the circuit testing into this week, and hopefully I'll have it all finished by this weekend so I can just focus on the prototype board if it comes in time, and the housing design. Because I can probably do a prototype board, but I don't know if I can get it overnighted very fast if I need to. And basically all the other tasks have been on track for weeks 9 and 10 besides the circuit testing. And the conclusions, I technically have 4 effects complete, so it's not totally untrue that's going to be a 4 effects panel, but it's not really what I planned on. I'm kind of bummed out about it. I'm going to try to make revisions to where I can actually fit another PCB inside of that. I thought that I could probably print some brackets to put on the inside of that, so it makes it to where the 2 boards won't contact each other if I put it in there. And that's it for this presentation. Hopefully by the next time I'll have the entire project finished so you guys can check it out and see what it can do. Thanks, guys.